So the number one person the news media turns to for negative assessments of Kamala Harris is Gil Duran, who is Kamala Harris's senior advisor and communications director when she was California's attorney general in 2013. And so the last straw for him was when Kamala Harris failed to show up for several scheduled prep meetings. She could not be reached by phone before a televised event in Los Angeles. Now, you could dismiss Gil Duran as just one disgruntled aide who'd served Kamala Harris for only 5 months, but he had company. Now, the staffer who worked for her for years, insisted on anonymity, said that Kamala Harris engaged in unnecessary gamesmanship driven by deep, deep insecurities. Right? She refused to do the preparation that you need to do before going public on hardcore policy matters. Then she would become incensed and outraged when things wouldn't go the way she thought they were supposed to go. There was a lot of magical thinking. So I also noticed this among people who are insecure. They have this imaginary world where everything's going to be okay, and they are not thrown back on their own resources. Right? There's now a generation of staff people who simply won't put up with this abuse. They leave, they tweet, they leak. Whenever somebody raises an issue about Kamala, everybody's like, oh, you don't want to see black women succeed. That's completely backward. Everybody goes to work for Kamala Harris, by definition, wants to see you succeed. That's why you take these jobs. Her staff dysfunction is not new. In her office as vice president, it will inhibit any administration that she leads. Her staff seems to be in a constant state of upheaval. Back to this Fox News discussion.
Put up that New York Post cover where she's being crowned. For those who think it's the coronation. Laura, I get that she's the news story. She's raised $200 million. She's inherently more interesting. But I don't think I've seen such favorable coverage since 2008 when Barack Obama was running.
Yeah, well, you also haven't seen the Olympic Michael Phelps-like dominance of the things Ben was just talking about. 100,000 volunteers in the span of a week, more than 30,000 voter registrations, breaking records, $250 million raised to her campaign and to allied groups, clearing the field. And then, of course, there's those poll numbers. She has caught up within the margin of error in that time with Donald Trump, who was dominating the polls prior. So I really don't think you can overestimate the dominance of her campaign, the skill with which she's executed it, and the way that she's harnessed that media attention. So I think
Yeah, there are good points there. She is a skilled politician, and I don't agree with Elliot Blatt, where he says that she is a textbook case of DEI-facilitated imposter syndrome. Right? She ran for the district attorney of San Francisco, which is a major position. She won that, and she served that. She ran the district attorney's office in San Francisco. Then she ran and won twice, elected in California as Attorney General, and then she successfully ran for the United States Senate from California. So she has a long, impressive track record of accomplishment. Right? You can't say that she's unqualified to be President of the United States. Right? She's far more qualified than Barack Obama was when he took over. Right? She ran the district attorney's office in San Francisco, and she ran the Attorney General's position in California for approximately 8 years, in addition to becoming United States Senator. And she did run for President of the United States in 2020, which was demanding, and she didn't do too well, but she went through the fire. Right? Her 2020 campaign dissolved in a storm of acrimony with operatives blaming one another. She was leading the race at one point. She had tons of money, but as soon as they got into trouble, they blew all their money. Things fell apart. She didn't even make it to Iowa. Her inner circle didn't serve her well, and they are ill serving her now. Her campaign staffers are now gone, but the dysfunction persists. So when you have dysfunction in your office, no matter what office you hold, that is a reflection on you.